That's what I'm laughing at. Hi. Hello, nobody who's future to be somebody. Oh, I really should have done something with my hair before this. I look like I just woke up, but I've been up all day, I swear. Anyway, so I made a baby Yoda as a gift for white elephants. As a gift for a white elephant, I made two. I made one for me and one for my wife as our gift to put in. They were popular. And I'm going to make another one, but I want to do it live so we have some video proof of it. So my wife is here reading comments, and she'll read every comment to me.
Hello.
Hello. And what I'm starting with here, a $10 doll from Walmart. Like, this is literally from Walmart. It literally costs $10. And I just want his head. You know, well, I'm going to use the whole body, but I want the body form and the shape and all that. This is to make my life easier. This one focused as far as what I'm doing. Sometimes if I have 12 projects going on, it's just not a good video. So, but today ought to be a decent video.
Oh my goodness, look at all these people.
No, I'm showing images up here that are not mine, okay? I don't own Baby Yoda. I don't own the rights to Baby Yoda. And I am not selling Baby Yodas. I am not in the Baby Yoda business. Not even a little. So don't ask me, will you make me a Baby Yoda? I am teaching you how to make a Baby Yoda. Right now. So that I don't have to make you one. See how that works? So step one is get some scissors. And there's a spot right here. It doesn't matter, like anywhere in here. And we just need to make a little incision. Okay? And that is solely for me to slide the baby down onto this holder. And now I have like a baby stand.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
What's terrible?
Oh, that's terrible.
All right, so yeah, now that he's on the stand, he's easier to work with and stuff. Maybe it's a she, I don't know. It's really hard to tell when they're a baby. They all kind of look like Alfred Hitchcock.
Baby.
I'm going to actually strip down. I'm going to get out of this big shirt. Now that I'm down to business and I'm working. And I'm in the spot where I need to grab a couple things. One of those things that I need to grab is a ping pong ball for the eyes.
They just called you Alan the Impaler.
Well, you know what? Such is life on the workshop floor. So this is a ping pong ball. You could also get a ping pong ball at Walmart. I keep them because I use them for eyes. And they have kind of a mold line that you can see. And I have inserted a little knife down here. And I am slowly working my way around the ping pong ball.
We have a question. What is the best way to get into the industry?
Start doing stuff. Which industry? Because if you're talking like stocks or something, I have no idea. But if you mean the haunted attraction industry, well, go work at a haunted attraction. But I want to start my own haunted attraction. Well, go work at one first. Learn on someone else's dime. If you don't know a lot, then work at someone else's show for about, 5-10 years. Learn. So I have visual reference here, and I'm looking. And Baby Yoda's eyes are a little higher and closer to the top of his head than human eyes are. So I'm not going to glue these right over his eyes. I'm going to glue them up a little bit, give myself an advantage. And I'm checking the width of the eyes. They're closer together than one eye. And I'm just making some marks here to tell me where to put the hot glue.
Stacy Hawkins would like to know who this one is for.
I will not tell you because there's no way that it ends in a positive. Okay, it is a gift, but if I tell you who it's for, then someone out there is going to be mad at me already. You know, that's how it goes.
So,
I thought making 2 baby Yodas would make 2 people happy. Well, that only made 6 people angry. That's how that works.
It just started a war. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm very interested in the haunt industry. I have some minor experience, but I have recently moved from Ireland to Missouri. I've been making stuff for as long as I can remember.
That is awesome. So, what part of Missouri? I know a lot of good haunts that are actually in Missouri.
Stacy Hawkins says you can't blame me for asking.
No, I cannot. Okay, you know what? I glue these eyes on. We're halfway done.
Yes, caught the magic just in time, says S-Boz. Excited to catch your live feed. Did you wish everybody a Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holiday?
Happy holidays. I really mean that. I'm not just saying it because my wife told me to.
No, you mean it.
See how Baby Yoda-like it is now? For the record, we're going to do a lot of terrible things to this doll throughout the course of this operation. So just be prepared for that. Don't think that the doll is going to be unscathed. If you're uncomfortable drilling into the forehead of a doll, well, this might not be the project for you.
So, gentleman from Ireland is now in St. Louis. I recently saw Creepy World. Was amazed at their set design, but their actors were lacking, I felt.
Then what you should do, in my opinion, is go there and be an awesome actor. I know the owner. I know several guys who work out there for Larry at Creepy World, and if you want to work there, then send me a message, and then I can actually send out a message and put a good word in for you. I will have to tell them that I don't really know you, but you're very interested. And from the however many words you've typed, I can tell you're very, very sincere. So, all right, so I took a stepper bit, Harbor Freight. Oh, I love these things. I can make all of these different sizes of holes. It's awesome. I don't need like 30 bits. I just need this one.
Greetings from Tijuana.
I keep them for, is that the horror club?
This is Edgar Guerra.
Okay.
Greetings all the way from Tijuana. And then S-Boss says, drilling into a doll can be satisfying, strangely satisfying.
It's very therapeutic. Wait till I cut his hands off. Okay, so based off my reference, I'm looking at where the ears come out of the head. And it's a little bit above the eye. And the higher up the ears are, the flatter the top of the head looks. I made 2, and I made 1. The ears were a little lower, and his head looks too domed and rounded. You want Baby Yoda's head to look flat. So, thinking about that silhouette, I gotta grab myself some wire. This is like a cooking show. I don't have everything laid out ahead of time. This is the real life. Is this just fantasy? Caught on a landslide? No escape from me now. All right. So I have one of my favorite types of wire here, ceiling hanger wire. You get that from Home Depot or Lowe's in the ceiling section. It is meant to hold up, meant to hold up ceilings, the drop ceilings. I'm going to scientifically figure out how long I want Yoda's ears to be.
Everybody's seen.
About that.
Scott Colhart made his granddaughter a dollhouse for Christmas.
That's awesome. I want to make a dollhouse. One day. Okay, here's the hard part, is I have put a hole on each side of the head. And I can only tell how to get it out of that hole. I have to look at where it pushes. See that? See a little bit of a bulge right there? Oh, success.
Gentleman from Ireland's name is Lorcan McIlvore.
Well, that's a cool name.
I worked one Halloween in an Irish haunt as an actor, but was sad to see how small the industry was there.
You know what? Haunted houses are really just picking up in all of the UK. Not just Ireland, but all of the UK. It's an industry. It's a growing industry, but it is a little small. You know, they just don't have the Halloween. You know, our Halloween, everybody says, you know, the roots are in Ireland. However, you know, we we kept it going. Ireland stopped. And we really picked up Halloween as far as trick-or-treating and all that stuff. Because, in the 30s, there was a lot of juvenile delinquents who would go out on All Hallows Eve and wreck stuff. So we had to find things for them to do. And trick-or-treating was what we came up with as far as, yeah, let them do this stuff again. That way they're not going out and wrecking things.
Fat Alien says, I have a feeling that horror isn't as big as it was in the 50s.
You know what? I think it is. I think it's, but there's more. If you're just thinking horror movies, then you're probably right. But now we have creepypasta, and we're old, okay? We don't understand how important or how big and huge creepypasta actually is. Creepypasta is horror stories and tales and things that have started on the internet, and that's their whole life has been on the internet. Slender Man is an example. The Rake is an example. The Russian Sleep Experiment is an example. There's a lot of them. And there's this whole cast of characters. I think Smiling Jack is one. There's a bunch of them. Jeff the Killer. If you know a 12-year-old, they know about all this stuff. Okay.
You're getting a lot of thank yous for showing how you're making this. Lorcan says, that's so true. I was uplifted to see a genuine passion for the holiday here.
We do like our Halloween.
We have a, hello Alan, thanks a bunch for the info on my sculpt on Facebook. I really appreciate it. This is from Chad Smith.
Yeah.
There's Ezekiel.
Hey, Ezekiel.
Stacy wants to know if you've got a favorite creepy pasta.
I have to go with the one that really started. Well, you know what? I like Smile Dog. Smile Dog is very interesting, but there was another one that was inspirational when I was doing Carl's Playhouse, and it was about, I forget the name of it. I'd have to look it up, but it's about a kids' TV show that people remember happening that, you know, maybe never happened. While I'm talking, I'm looking at the reference and I'm learning the ear shape for Yoda over here.
Said Abandoned by Disney was a great one. Candle Cove.
Candle Cove. But this TV show where it ended in this some kind of a ritual where he, you know, burned a bunch of kids and good times. It's creepy. I don't want to work with all of this, so I'm just marking however much I need. Cut it there. That's enough to get both ears, obviously. This is 5mm EVA. When I did them, I did one of them, I sculpted the whole ear out of epoxy clay. I had to babysit it, and that was frankly a pain in the bum. This way, I am actually just going to use EVA foam. That's how I did it on one of them, and I was happiest with how that turned out. This will also allow me to move faster because I don't have to do anything to build this ear up.
Channel Zero on Shudder is based on creepypasta. season 1 of Channel Zero on Shudder.
There's, you know what? A creepypasta is a big deal. You mentioned horror might not be as popular. I think it's more popular. Horror has always kind of been fringe entertainment. Let's go here. Let's go here.
People watching tonight.
62? Y'all need hobbies.
They're everybody's
Just hiding from your family.
S. Claus says, I imagine the foam is more flexible than epoxy putty in the end. Flexible ears are great.
Well, now these ears won't necessarily be flexible themselves because I'm going to use epoxy putty up top and to blend it in. But you're right. They would be better if they were flexible. They won't be.
Shane Coulter says he's one of those 62 who are watching.
Hello.
Michael Lassiter, creepypasta is like campfire stories for the internet.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Lorcan says, what would be the best method of sending you my info? Thank you to both of you for taking care to chat. I'm going to put...
my wife will hook you up, or if Scott Colhart is on, he'll probably give you my email or whatever.
Okay, email address sent.
An EVA foam, you can shape it kind of with heat. So I am giving it a little bit of a shape and a little bit of a stretch, making it look a little less EVA foamy, if that makes any sense. Now, Yoda's ears are very straight, so I don't have to work hard to make them look really organic.
Hi, Alan and White.
His design is very similar to the Gremlins from the Bugs Bunny cartoon. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And Gremlins, if anyone doesn't know where the name Gremlins comes from, you know what Gremlins are. They get into machinery and break it, or computers or whatever. Well, Gremlins came about during World War II, and it started in France. And anytime something went wrong with the engines of airplanes, that's what it mostly was at first, or vehicles or whatever, they would blame it on Gremlins. What that really meant was Fremlins, which was a brand of beer. Fremlins, Fremlins beer is what they were really blaming it on.
Is EVA foamy a word?
Yes. I have decided it are wordable. And if you want to spin him around on this post, sorry little buddy, gotta lift his feet. Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. I'll move you a little closer. My workspace is crowded and messy, but I'm just kind of going at this.
Curious question on your epoxy putty. Is your part A harder than the part B? I got some, and my part A is quite stiff.
Sometimes they are. It all depends on the brand and the type and how long it's been around and that kind of stuff. So it just depends. That's a terrible answer, and it also depends on the type. I'm hoping that I use.
That's Bill. That's Bill Wonder that actually did that. All right, Bill.
This is what did he do? He just asked a question.
EVA foamy, is it a word?
It's a word.
That was Bill.
Of course it's a word. And I'm just hot gluing this on for now. The epoxy putty will make it stick later.
Are you going to use Loctite for the hands and feet?
No, I'm just going to make them out of the epoxy putty. They're just going to go fast and easy.
I love the Grouch video. Will we get to see more sculpting videos in the coming months with you getting ready for Transworld?
Yes, you will. Now, in all honesty, mostly what I'm sculpting is going to be feet and stuff like that, because It's not. I'm not doing a ton of masks. What I'm doing a lot of is rearranging what I have and really finishing things out.
When you do projects like this, do you have an estimate of how many hours it will take, or you just do it until you finish?
Well, I needed them for a party, and I started them at 7 p.m. I made two. I started at 7 p.m. the night before. So I knew I could get them done in that amount of time. What changes is how I do it. If I have half the time I thought I did, I would do it a different way. And Stacy's on right now, but Stacy had a comment or something, was talking about things, and I mentioned that, you know, try to have things, bring things up all over the place, you know, meaning I'm not going to work on this hand and finish this one hand, get it all the way painted and go to the next thing. I want this to be a degree of finished, you know, roughly a little bit of time through my my building it. I don't want to not get it done on time because of my division of labor. So I make sure that I can finish it in the amount of time by changing how I approach the project and whatnot. So, but you can see that we're on the path to Baby Yoda right now. We have the ears and we have the eyes on. And those are big things.
I use foam clay when I make cosplay helmets. I find it's easier to blend joints with it.
Foam clay is good for seams and EVA foam. But I don't like sculpting in EVA foam clay. It's a bit like sculpting in marshmallow fluff or bubble gum. It's work. So Magic Sculpt is the epoxy that I think I'm going to use tonight. And I think it'll be a little bit faster than what Magic Sculpt, I bought it on Amazon. This is about $4 for this size. This is plenty to do this project. I'll probably get 3 Baby Yodas out of this, maybe 4.
Is that floor mat foam?
This is craft foam. This is 5mm EVA foam from Hobby Lobby. So no, it is not floor mat foam. Floor mat foam is thicker. It could work, but it's not this.
You're looking like a mogwai.
Yes, well, there are similarities. I have not worked with Magic Sculpt in a while, but the whole concept of most of these epoxy putties is that you get 2 equal amounts of clay. And I think I need a little bit more of this one.
Would
And
EVA foam be stiffer?
This is EVA foam. This is EVA foam. It's just a different type.
Where do you buy it?
Hobby Lobby. This is 5mm craft foam, which is EVA foam from Hobby Lobby. Polymer clay. And I when I mix it, blah, blah, blah. When I mix it, I make some cigars. And let's see. Yes, one is stiffer than the other. This is excited polymer clay. It droops very slowly. This is very flaccid polymer clay. This is the resin, they call it. So one is stiffer than the other. I put them together and I twist. It's just like steel stick epoxy. And actually, when I was painting one of them, what happened was I dropped it on the ground. I dropped a hand on the ground. Finger broke off. So I just made a finger out of steel stick epoxy. That stuff sets up in 5 minutes. Whereas this is it won't get all the way hard until overnight. But it's close enough.
Can you make it as if you were making a mask?
When you say, can I make it as if I were making a mask, I don't know what you mean.
That was alien fat alien. Not to clarify, how he does. Lorcan asked, after working with 10mm EVA foam for so long, I much prefer the 5mm stuff just because I have have to fight it less when making complex geometry.
Oh, absolutely, and it heats easier, it heats faster. It's good for details. Normally I use 3/8 of an inch EVA foam. 3/8 is what I use to make my helmets. I make a lot of helmets. And you can see those two colors. All I'm doing is I am lengthening it out, and then every time I fold it on itself like this, I double the amount of folds in it. And it's becoming all one color instead of two separate colors. It's subtle, but it's happening.
How's the weight on that versus EVA clay?
Oh, this is heavier for sure. This is way heavier. But for this project, I'm not worried about weight. EVA clay is much lighter, and that's what makes it harder to sculpt.
Got your lathe. Are you also going to modify the hands and feet?
Yep. No. Okay. I want to modify the hands, but not the hands and feet. Where do you think this is? I ain't got time for all that now. And I'm covering the whole head in clay. And it's not clay, it's epoxy putty, but it's very similar to clay. And I'm just putting a thin layer on because this type of plastic that this doll head is made out of doesn't like spray paint. So if you spray it with spray paint, it stays wet forever. So I am covering this in this clay just so I can paint it easier later and not have to mess with it. There are things you can do to make that paint dry, but it's not fun and it's not fast. If I have anything, I'm fun and fast.
Say hello to Skullbergs.
Hello, Skullbergs.
So will this be a non-trademark Baby Yoda doll?
I'm not selling this at all. I'm giving it away. It's a Baby Yoda doll. I'm not making it for money. I'm not making it for profit. They screwed up and don't have product in the stores. They don't have any Baby Yodas for us to buy right now. People want the Baby Yoda. I will make them a Baby Yoda.
I just got here. Is this going to be a doll or a puppet?
It's a doll. It's a doll. This is just for it's a gift. But I made a couple, and several people asked about how to make it. Several people asked if I would make them one. I say nay.
How much work time do you get on the clay?
About an hour is normal for epoxy clays. About an hour of work time. I won't need near that much. I plan on having this whole head sculpted and covered in 2 hours.
We have 81 people watching.
81 people? Holy moly.
Mike Skullberg said vicious gift exchange.
It was a vicious gift exchange. And I'll tell you what, Baby Yoda wasn't even like the best thing there. I mean, it was up there, but a lot of very talented craftspeople. It's an industry party, so a lot of the folks there make stuff, and they tend to show out.
He said someone is crying their way back to Colorado.
Yes, someone is.
Yeah, that was full of sharks.
So I can still see stranding in this. See those striations? I don't want to see that. I want it to be a few more of these guys. Now this is firmer than the other kind of epoxy clay I was using. The other epoxy clay that I was using was from Polygen Corporation, and it was FlexLight 307 is what I was using. But that is very messy as far as It there's a folding powder that you have to use in order to, the two halves are very, very sticky. So I'd rather use this, except this may not be as fast because mixing it takes longer because it's firmer. But shapes will hold better because it's firmer.
Stacy Hawkins says the taco is going in the mini mini monster shop.
Oh my.
Percy Eves, hello. I will be watching this how-to 100 times. My wife really wants one of these so bad.
Well, it's not hard. You can do this.
I want to make a life-size Tauntaun taxidermy head like the one the Mandalorian has in his lair. That's cool.
I've actually made a life-size Tauntaun. A project that I did when I lived in Orlando.
Hello from wet and rainy Central California.
And I have a Tauntaun's funny story. So I'm sculpting this Tauntaun, and at the time, being a young bachelor man, I was sculpting it in my apartment's kitchen. I was on the second floor, and it was life size, so the head was 300 pounds of clay. 300 pounds of clay. And I built this wooden stand out of 2x4s for me to sculpt on. It was in the kitchen of my apartment. I go out one night and I come back. Someone had stolen my Tauntaun head. I was like, oh my God, because it was in the middle of my kitchen, And so I come back and it's gone. It's gone. And, it's an apartment. So I open the door and like normally there's a giant Tauntaun head right there. It's gone. So I'm like, who stole it? Why would they steal a 300-pound thing? It looked like they busted the stand for it. And that was kind of a clue. What happened was the Tauntaun head was elevated so I could sculpt it. So it's pretty much eye to eye with me. And it was on one side of the kitchen. Well, the 2x4 stand broke. And when it broke, the Tauntaun fell this way, broke through the kitchen. All right, it broke through the kitchen window and fell down to the balcony below. And fun.
Smith loves this story.
It fell down to the balcony below, and when it fell, it just pushed the blinds out, and then the blinds came back. So I couldn't tell the window was busted out, and I was in such a state of shock I hadn't yet closed the door. I did figure out what happened and had to resculpt the Tauntaun head. But yeah, the stand broke, Tauntaun head out the window to the balcony below. It could have killed someone.
You have some Florida friends who know this story.
Did not happen.
90 people are watching.
Could have killed someone.
Hi, Alan. Have you tried that lightweight EVA putty? I think the branded stuff is called Cosplay.
Yes, actually I have. I just used up my last supply of it. I was very happy with it, and I'll probably be getting some more very shortly. I'm in Texas, and so is TNT Cosplay Supply. They're about an hour and a half from me. So, yeah, maybe.
My hobby, Mr. Hobby Super Clear UV Spray from Japan is what I'm spraying my 65-year-old vinyl doll. Mr. Hobby Super Clear UV Spray.
I'd have to check that out. Does it have good properties? Is the UV, does that mean it's a UV resistant spray? Because number one enemy of most props is UV light. That breaks down most of what we use.
Haha, I wish I was your basement neighbor. Hello from Chicago. And did you have to pay for the window?
Of course I had to pay for the window. Technically, Disney paid for the window.
We're
Roll that into the costs.
We are opening our first haunted house in 2020. Do you have any tips on what not or what to do to make it successful? Well, you could talk about that for a while.
Okay, I'm going to talk about budget a little bit. If you have $50,000 to open your haunted house, spend $15,000 building the haunt and spend the rest on marketing, because you need people to come in order to make your money back. I like a 70-30 in the first couple years of marketing to show build. 70% on marketing, 30% build that show out. If that means that you can't afford to build the show that you want, build a different show. Maybe it's a trail or something that you can do. Because if you, pardon the expression, but blow your load building the show, and you only have like 10,000 to market, no one's going to come, and then all the money you spent on your show is kind of wasted.
Okay. My goodness, there's a lot of people on tonight. The best Christmas present ever, a video from Al Pop's Woo. Can the foam clay be used for puppets, or would it rip under the stress of performing?
It is not as flexible as it would like to be. EVA foam clay is not as flexible. What I have done is you can actually use the EVA foam clay, and smooth it into fabric, like a heavy weave fabric, almost like a burlap or something like that. Then you have the strength of the cloth, and you might get some cracking, but it won't fall apart on you. For seams like the mouth and the sides of the mouth and that kind of stuff. You smear it in and work from there.
That is an excellent tip on budgeting. Definitely writing that down. What are you making?
I'm making Baby Yoda. And I think the title of this video is Making Baby Yoda. So you really just leapt into this without much information. And I'm going to say again, I don't make these to sell. I don't own this character. I don't want to sell any of these. I'd rather make and sell my own characters. This is popular. This is a gift for someone. I thought it would make a good YouTube video.
Any idea what you will be teaching seminar-wise in Transworld?
Yes. Yes, I have an idea. I am doing a Q-line training class, which I have never done before. I've never done one on Q acting. I've done lots on just regular haunt acting, but none on acting in the haunted houses Q. I'm doing one of those. We're doing, me, Ben, and John LaFlamboy are doing like a panel type discussion on something. I forget what that is, but that's exciting. It's exciting because I get to work with Ben Armstrong and John LaFlamboy. Really? They are two men who I respect very much in the haunted attraction industry. If you ever get a chance to see a class by one of them, take it. Even if I'm teaching in the other room, go to theirs.
I'm late to the video. What are you using on the head?
This is Magic Sculpt. It's a 2-part epoxy clay. Magic Sculpt.
I spent many years wanting to go to Transworld simply to nerd out a little. I was wondering if it was beneficial to lay people like myself, or is it more for serious buyers and pros?
It's the business show. It's for the business of haunting. It's for the business of Halloween. And some people say that if you spend a certain amount, you should go to Transworld. I look at it the other way. It's not about how much of your money you spend on Halloween. It's about how much money you make on Halloween. Do you make money on Halloween with Halloween stuff? Then you should go to Transworld, because you are in the business of Halloween and haunted houses. If you don't make money, then maybe it's not for you. You're more recreational. What I really need is a buddy here just mixing the clay for me. To make things go a little faster. But I think we're getting good coverage. Back of the head is covered. It's not smooth by any means. I'm just putting it together, trying to get about the same amount. Yeah, that's good.
I make no money on Halloween. I hoard all my props and I won't sell them. It's cobwebs and candlesticks.
Well, yes, that is the home haunter way, and there is nothing wrong with that. That's just not a pro haunter. Often, home haunters will spend time where pro haunters spend money.
So says Janet Alvarez, matte spray caught about 4 coats can be painted or tinted with pastels. It has tooth. Chad Smith, I went to LaFlamboy's Haunts this year for the first time. Both were amazing, great detail, many layers, and awesome opening storytelling.
Yes, John is very, very good at that. He is very good at telling a story and an overall narrative. It's excellent.
I really want to make a house haunt, but I'm limited to only a porch.
That makes life harder. You could make a really cool porch haunt.
Is Halloween all year round for you, Alan?
Oh, yes, yes. So here's my life, all right? My 40-hour-a-week job is Dark Hour Haunted House. We are open 5 different times a year. We're open for October, of course. Normally 6 to 8 weekends we're open. And then we are open 2 weekends for a Christmas show called Wreck the Halls. Then we're open Valentine's weekend. And then we are open St. Patrick's Day weekend. These are different shows. We tear the show down, build a new one, and go from there. So, and then we do open again in July for Dog Days of Summer. So, I have a year full of Septembers getting ready for each show. On top of that, I have a monster museum at Scarborough Fair Renaissance Festival that happens in the spring that I own, and I make the monsters for that. So is that particularly Halloween? No. But it is sculpting and molding, and it's monster-based for sure. And then I also make and sell costumes for haunted houses all over the country when I go to Trans World, the Halloween show that we're talking about here. And at Trans World, I have a booth. I have several booths, and I sell stilt costumes, masks, and all the things that haunted houses might need.
I've saved so much money on Halloween since watching your first videos back in the day. The first was the garbage bags, and he got on the fence before your wife got home. I still have them. I think that's one of the most popular ones. So that was real. I really did that.
Well, you know what? I think that is so out of the box. A lot of haunt videos are taking a prop and making it look better. And I think that video caught people's attention because we started with garbage bags and made a thing out of it. And I think that has value for folks.
So I actually usually give mine away. And then Cobwebs and Candlesticks says, I had a guy try to buy a clock I made on my channel. I had to shoot him down.
A what you made?
A clock.
A clock. That sounds cool.
I have taken some of your techniques that you have put on the YouTube channel the last couple of years. I made a scary prank taxidermy. I made a stuffed skunk out of skunk pelts, and a skunk skull. Came out great.
Awesome.
Jordan says, just recently sold my first mask on Etsy, so technically I have an excuse to go to Transworld.
I guess technically, yes, you do.
What is the green mask? That's to your right.
Oh, this is a display that I worked on for the Monster Museum. It is a Triton. It'll go, and I added teeth and painted it and changed the eyes and all that to it. This was sculpted this was a blank that I bought at Monster Day in Greeley, Colorado. And the teeth in it are Michael Lasseter teeth. He might be on tonight. He sells those plastic teeth. I cut the teeth. Well, there weren't any teeth in it, so I just glued those in the sockets.
I'll be in Transworld in March. This is Vic Springston, who is opening their first haunt in 2020.
Vic, swing by the booth and talk at me.
How's the website going? Can we buy stuff from it yet? Nah.
Yes, yes you can. There's a few things on there right now, including the black Stilt Beast t-shirts, Stilt Beast aprons, Stilt Beast hats. There's a few masks on there still.
The Shrunken Head was a good one. Making more simple prop videos if you can find time, please.
That's the problem, is time. I'm not doing YouTube Wednesdays because I gave up or I don't have ideas or whatever. It's simply time. This is easy. I do a project, I turn on the camera and I go. And it's my phone, and I'm not even using any storage. I don't have to transfer it to a computer to edit. It just took so long to do YouTube Wednesdays. They're not gone, but certainly I have slowed down in getting them out.
I love the statue video where you sprayed down painter's tarps and you wanted to build 10 of them.
Yeah, I ended up doing that too.
A friend just purchased a 100-acre farm somewhere in Pennsylvania. Besides running a dairy farm, he's thinking of making a haunt. If so, I'll be really busy furnishing most of the props for him.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. I got my started with one of my starts with haunts up in Delaware and Pennsylvania.
That is so true. The saran wrap on the skeletons was one of the greatest ideas you've had. Had done photo for guys and red brown paint, and they look amazing.
They hold up too.
I love the Fishman build. I just ordered some of MJ's teeth too.
Oh, awesome.
Looks like the creature from Monster Squad.
Yes, yeah, that's what he based his sculpt off of, was the Monster Squad Gillman.
Where do you get your wall plaques?
Home Depot. That size there I showed you was just, they're $7. They're little tabletops. There's a bigger size too that's, I think, 15 or 16 bucks. But, yeah, Home Depot.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks says, I'm going to build one, I just have no room to store it. I got a zombie horse hogging room. Remember that? Yes, you're harassing Mama Hops. I hear you too. Yes, there's a website up. I would say 75% of my haunt build information knowledge has come from your channel. I owe you a huge debt of gratitude. Been watching for a long time. That's Chad Smith.
Well, you know what? I owe everybody a huge debt of gratitude. Yeah, for watching, but every time somebody does a project that I did, they put their own twist on it, They're not going to have exactly the same materials as me. They're not going to be able to do it the exact same way. And that's perfectly fine. They tell me about the little changes that they made, and sometimes I learn something. So it's this great reciprocating, that's like a saw, reciprocal relationship. So I share, and then everybody who I shared with kind of shares with me, and that's really awesome. So I'm almost done covering this cute little guy's head in clay. And then I'm going to smooth it out a little bit. And then I will be able to start really sculpting this.
Why aren't you doing a bigger rolled out sheet of clay instead of smaller pieces?
Because it would trap air underneath of it, and it wouldn't be adhered nearly as well as this.
I miss It's YouTube Wednesday.
So do I. If I ever retire or get fired from Dark Hour, I will come right back and do a bunch of YouTube Wednesdays.
I make and reborn dolls, and I come here to learn more.
Reborn dolls, those things are awesome and also creepy. You're probably used to drilling into doll heads and stuff.
Smallberg wants to know, is that a caffeine-free Coke Zero?
No, I'm off the wagon, my friend. I was doing well for a while, but I'm off the wagon. And I opened it. I never even took a drink.
Alan, what did you do before you made money from YouTube and haunts?
I make money from haunts. I did my first haunted house when I was 10, and I decided this is what I'm going to do for a living. And I fumbled my way through life with different haunted houses in Maryland, up north area, until I graduated high school. As soon as I graduated high school, I drove a moped to Orlando to work at Terror on Church Street, which is a job I had set up the summer before, and worked at Terror on Church Street year-round as a actor, and that's where I really got an interest in makeup and learning other facets of the industry. There were some amazing people there, like Alan Ostrander, who runs AEO Studios, Rosie Alexander, who used to run Rosie Alexander Costumes. Unfortunately, Rosie passed away. But so many, and the director there, David Clevenger, he was brilliant. And I learned a lot while I was at Terror on Church Street. And then I moved to Skull Kingdom in Orlando. And I learned a ton at Skull Kingdom and made some lifelong friendships, and some of those folks even still work with me to this day.
What are the advantages of streaming on YouTube versus Facebook, Twitch, etc.?
Facebook doesn't pay me. If I stream on Facebook, it's great that I'm streaming on Facebook, and the audience is good. Often the audience is better than when I'm streaming on YouTube. More people are watching. But because I did YouTube Wednesday for 2 or 3 years, I did a video every week, and that has a build-up, and I get a little bit of ad revenue from that. It's nothing crazy. It's a good month if it's $100, It's nothing crazy at all. But it's nice when there's just a little bit more incentive to go on YouTube. And I have a channel, and I'm making content that people hopefully enjoy. And on Facebook, here's another advantage. On Facebook, if you like the video or you want to do the thing that I did, how do you find it? It's hard to find. It's hard to categorize and run, as a library. You can't look stuff up. That's why I do YouTube, and I name the video exactly what I'm doing. So 5 months from now, when you say, I want to make a gremlin, I remember Alan made a baby Yoda, and I could make a gremlin that same way if I could find that video. Almost impossible to find on Facebook. That's alive. But YouTube, you can go back and look at those lives. I'm almost at the fun part. This is not the fun part.
Hello, Alan. It's Trey from the convention. I've changed accounts. This is Lorcan. I'm very grateful for how accessible and cheap raw materials are for making here in the USA. It's hard to shoestring a prop in Ireland where spray paint is €5 a can.
Yeah, that's rough. And plus, your only real supplier was Mold Life over there in the UK. It is tougher. It's tougher there. Or so I hear.
Can you tell if it's YouTube Monday?
We are hopping tonight. There's 100 people watching.
100 people watching. I sculpt lots of things for my son. I sell them on eBay. That's Janet Alvarez.
Oh, that's awesome.
Halloween is starting to take off here in Australia, and I built my second haunt this year. 6M by 6M with a maze.
6 meters by 6 meters. That's
6 meters by 6 meters.
18 feet by 18 feet.
With a maze-like layout inside. We worked out. We had over 300 kids, though, on Halloween night.
That's awesome. That is well mixed. It's all one color. I don't see any of those striations in it, really. So.
Chad Smith, not that you are busy enough. Any plans for a sculpt DVD in the future? Any plans for other DVDs?
I do have plans for other DVDs. I have a video that I'm working on. It's halfway shot and edited, and on mask making, latex mask making. I just haven't had a chance to get it together. I have the issue where a lot of things that I do have become wildly successful. And that requires time on my part to maintain them. And that means that projects that I want to do, I don't get a lot of time in the shop to make things I want to make. This is actually a rare treat.
My granddaughter wants a baby Yoda, and I have lots of vinyl dolls.
Very good.
If I type in Alan builds Tauntaun, am I going to get a video of a busted window?
No, because that was in 1996? 90. No, that was in 1995. 95, 96.
May the force be with you, Janet. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
All right, so the head is covered. I'm going to go put the stuff on the ears because why not? That's not going to be fun either.
Oh. So 104 people are watching, 33 thumbs up. 71 of you need to click that icon. Well, thank you. That's very sweet.
Slackers, we've got slackers out there. I'm actually I'm amazed anytime, we get a good audience and people are watching. This is my everyday. So it's I don't always know that what I'm doing is even going to be interesting because it's so, this is. I'm in the shop making stuff. Of course, I'm in the shop making stuff.
Chad Smith wants to know what he has. Chad, you have got good questions. What's at the top of your list of what you want to make and build?
I have a Wolfman costume that I want to redo for myself, and I want to make myself a gorilla costume. I'm on a gorilla costume making group on Facebook, and they've got me inspired, and I really want to do that. I've been wanting to make like a Congo ape style suit for a while, but it might go a mix between that and a straight gorilla. I don't mean the variant gray ape and from Congo and a straight gorilla, like a normal gorilla. I was at no point making a gay gorilla costume. Not that I'm opposed, you be you, but that wasn't in the cards. It did sound like I was making a gay gorilla costume. It's not what I do. That was just for clarity.
Oh, baby. I love making props. I made a Return of the Living Dead Tarman barrel, Old West undertakes facade, and a bunch more stuff. Thanks to you, I made the yard statues a couple of years ago, and I've been hooked.
Yard statues are great. And we did a new version of them this year that was interior at Dark Hour. We just made a head and shoulders, and we took a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket, and put Quikrete in it, and then we half a bag of Quikrete in the bottom of the 5-gallon bucket, a PVC post, and then head and shoulders that we just tape cast off of someone. And we did one out of foam, and then we made all the rest of them out of that one that we made tape cast. And we made a bunch of those, like 20. Put them in one room. So when you walk into this room at Dark Hour, it's like you're in a room full of people, all there because they're all in cloaks. And the cloak hangs down to the ground. You can't even tell they got bucket feet.
What do you mean remade the Wolfman costume? That's my favorite costume you have. That's Skullcurd.
We can rebuild it. We can make it better, faster, stronger than it was before. We have the technology.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says Amy from Congo.
Amy, bad gorilla. Yeah, but I mean the gray apes. Amy was like a straight ape, straight gorilla, and I mean the gray ones that were in guarding the city of Zinj. I really like the movie Congo, and Michael Skalberg is about to ask me what my favorite monster is. And I'm going to say the gray apes from Congo. So every time he asks me, I give him a different answer. A lot of good ones out there, though. All right, so at this point, I'm starting to look at my reference. And I check references religiously. This is something I'm trying to make it look like that. Normally, I've got like 80 different references, and I want those nostrils, and I want that forehead, and from a different picture, I want those lips, you know, or I want the gums of a cheetah, so let's look at cheetah gums. And that's how I normally use reference. I'm not replicating anything, but I'm using nature to inspire my art and tell me where to go next. Reference, because you'll get to a point in a sculpture and you say, okay, I think it's done. But if you use visual reference, you'll know it's not done. I can push this further.
At one time, you wanted to make a flying dragon. That's Michael last name.
Yep. Love making costumes that flew. As I get closer to 300 pounds, flying is less likely.
I imagine you would have a lot of fun playing a gorilla.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of fun doing almost everything.
Does your gorilla costume have a jaw-operated mouth similar to Chewbacca's mask from Star Wars?
Well, it would not be radio controlled. I would just do it off of my own jaw. In haunted houses, you really want to be more self-contained, pretty much. So if I move my mouth, it moves.
Skalberg says, only because you're not wearing suspenders tonight.
Right, and you would ask where I got my suspenders.
Alan makes the holy grail of prop making videos.
That's very kind.
How cute. You're making something for us to love rather than fear.
You know what? I was very out of my comfort zone making this the first time. Because I make things that are scary.
I'm making a prop right now while watching this, so it feels like you were right there working in my workshop.
Isn't it nice? Sometimes that's the reason why I go live, is so that it feels like I'm hanging out with folks.
Any sculptures in the chat? What's the best clay for making figurines? I got a bunch of sculpting for Christmas last year, and I find it hard to work with because it warms up too much.
It's a little like bubble gum,
Sculpey.
working with Sculpey, and it's flesh colored. It's kind of creepy, but it is a very good clay, but it does have some drawbacks.
I love watching you work when I have the time. I'm a trucker, so I never have the same schedule or the time to do the projects I want to do.
I hear you there. I'm not a trucker. I don't have the time to do the projects I want to do.
I haven't seen a gorilla in a haunt before, but I love the idea.
You know what? Gorillas used to be a haunt staple. Used to be a horror movie staple. And we just moved away from them. And I don't think a gorilla is a bad idea at all in a haunted house.
Good night, Alan. I can't stick around for the fun part. I'll catch you later over the holiday. Thank you. Merry Christmas to the both of you. Signing off from New Hampshire, Fright Kingdom.
Bye. Who was that from Fright Kingdom?
Hawkeye. Hawkeye 79.
Okay.
Alan, have you ever casted a mask in silicone? I've tried working with dragons, but found it difficult to work with.
Yes, I've made lots of silicone masks. Just recently I made a silicone Grinch mask for a client. It was a remake that they needed one. That was the last silicone I did, and that was this October.
The other day I was looking for a sculpting form, and I saw the David Mosher head form. It had a YouTube link that went to one of your old Hangout videos.
Yeah. So I'm putting on his little chubby cheeks right now, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing.
Skalberg says, was that the North Texas Grinch?
No, that was a different Grinch. It was going to an event, I forget where. I would say up north, but everything is north from Texas.
Dead End Haunt says, I'm painting Krampus in a devil mask right now.
Sweet! Guys, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing some sculpting tools. I'm not sorry I'm grabbing them, I'm sorry that I'm not there in front of you. But I need what I need. Okay, get us a couple sculpting tools here. And look at reference, look at reference, look at reference. One of the first things I've got to do is go around those eyes. Because right now, they are buggo IOs for sure. And I got two eyes too. So I'm treating it like it's part of the face where I make one piece, I rip it in half. And now I know the material I use on this eye, I'll use the same amount on the other instead of just having to guess.
Do you plan to make a sculpted version of this?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is not my character. I'll make a few of these this Christmas, and then I'm done. And I have to be really careful not to make this scary. The brow is where I will go wrong. And I'll make this brow angled down too much. I don't want that.
Actually, I'm learning sculpting. I normally make cosplay costumes out of EVA foam.
If you make stuff out of EVA foam, that's sculpting. I mean, you're doing it. It's just a different style of sculpture.
Okay, Vic Springston, I don't know if this is for Alan or if you're in a conversation. Fright Props mask. Do you have any reviews on their products?
Well, okay, Fright Props doesn't, well, they make some stuff, but most of the masks on their site they don't make. They're selling them through another party. So I don't know what mask you're talking about. But there's a chance it's from Morris Costumes. There's a chance it could be from anywhere. I have no idea. So I can't give you a review on it simply because I don't know which product you're referring to, and you telling me may or may not help. But Fright Prop sells my DVDs. So they sell things that other people make quite a bit. Now, they make sure that they're getting you a good price because they, what they do is they buy from me at wholesale and then sell at retail for about the same as what I'm charging.
I finished my Leprechaun movie replica, and next I will either do a Baby Yoda or Spike from Gremlins.
That's awesome. You mean Strike from Gremlins?
Spike. He calls it Spike, but yes, he means Strike.
Yeah.
It's so funny that the moment Baby Yoda showed up, everyone can't get over him.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they nailed cute. Like this is the geometric for cute. They, you don't get cuter than this.
Jordan would like to know, will you make a ghoulish snowman someday?
Jordan, what the hell's wrong with you? Where have you been the past 2-3 years where I've been making ghoulish snowmen out the wazoo? You can look up Alan Hopp's snowman and see pictures of ghoulish snowmen that I have made. I ain't no joke.
He says, I can't lie, he's super cute considering he's a 50-year-old baby.
Yes.
Branson Haunted Hills, hello.
All of the 50-year-old people who I know who like to wear diapers, way creepier.
Okay, that's really weird. Say hello to Scary Mary, Branson Haunted Hills.
Hey, Scary Mary.
I love the solid silicone organs made by CFX. Is it possible to get a similar result with latex, or will it take too long for latex to cure and too hard to pull it out of the mold?
No, you cannot get a similar effect with latex. Not for any of the reasons you mentioned, but because silicone has translucency. And they just look more real. They're going to move more real. They're going to feel more real. They're just stronger for that kind of work.
Gotta run, but always enjoy watching your videos. Hope your holidays are great, and cheers in 2020. That is Dark Illusions Mask Company.
Well, awesome, and thank you. Hope you have a great holiday yourself.
Have you ever made a Bigfoot costume?
Yes, I have. I made a Bigfoot costume when I was in Orlando that went to Haxon Films, which are the same guys who made Blair Witch Project. After Blair Witch Project, they hired me and some friends who had a company at the time to make their Halloween costumes. And then they said, well, why don't you make us a Bigfoot costume and a Chupacabra costume for a show that we're doing. And the show was Freaky Links, which every now and then is still played on the Sci-Fi Channel. And you'll see my Bigfoot costume in the intro of Freaky Links.
Do you have any recommendations on buying different props?
I don't think so, but I mean, there's so many different kinds of props. What kind of prop do you want? What kind of prop are you talking about? I am going to turn this around before I lose focus.
Jordan says, will you please try to make a ghoulish snowman next?
Jordan, look through my live videos. I was making a live snowman, a scary snowman, I think like last month. I swear I was, and I did it live. I make a lot of snowmen.
Say hi to Alex.
Which Alex?
Alex Castle, intern who's coming to Monster Camp.
Hello, Alex Castle, intern who's coming to Monster Camp.
What did you get your wife for Christmas? Let's talk about that.
My wife is in the room. I ain't gonna tell you now.
Let's talk about that.
I got her a vacuum. I got her a garbage disposal.
Oh my God.
I got her, let's see, what's the worst thing? A new broom.
Oh.
Some new rubber dish gloves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, I think the only worst thing that a vacuum you could get your wife is like a gym membership or something like. That's how you get murdered in your sleep, friends.
Do you have costumes and props you make ever live to retirement, or do they tend to be used until they wear out?
Normally they're used till they wear out. I have retired things only because they don't sell or they didn't work the way I wanted to.
The question on the props, this is from Vic Springston, who is doing the haunt in 2020.
Thank you.
He is like props that are more lifelike is what he's interested in.
Yes, if you want to buy props that are very lifelike, then you want to talk to Ghost Ride. Ghost Ride is a company, they'll be at Trans World, and they have the best bodies in the business. Like they're the most realistic. They're on the high end as far as price goes, but they're not as high as Unit 70, and I think is actually not as good as Ghost Ride. Nothing against Unit 70, it's fine stuff. But I think Ghost Ride ekes them out in quality and appearance. So, Ghost Ride. Look for them. Ghost Ride Productions.
You could get her a Peloton.
Yeah, get her a Peloton. That'd be awesome.
That's awesome. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, who would give their life like an exercise machine? No, no, I want to live.
A bowling ball with your name on it.
Yeah.
In the last live, you talked about a pitch meeting for Dark Hours themes. How did it go, and are you excited by it?
It went great. I'm very excited. I have to make sure that every single idea I present is one that I want to do, because Lucy, the owner, could pick anything. But she did pick one of my favorites. Now, I was happy with all of them, but she picked probably my favorite of the ideas. Little sad spot in my heart because the other ones didn't get picked, but that's how it goes.
Michael Lasser says, thanks to Al Driver, Piggin lives, no retirement.
Yeah, I retired a mask because just the mold got old, and I didn't want to make another one right away. And Al Driver is a friend and customer of mine, and he said, "Can I come up and help me sculpt a Piggin?" And so he remade Piggin.
I know it's Christmas around the corner, but myself and my son look forward every year to your Thanksgiving turkey tradition.
It is. It's remarkable how many people enjoy me decorating my Thanksgiving turkey.
Will you be at HauntCon?
I love New Orleans. I may be in New Orleans.
Thank you for the info. info. I appreciate it and what you do. That's Vic Springston, whose haunt is opening in 2020, and you were answering questions about the lifelike props. Tommy 64. I'm being quiet tonight. I'm under the weather, but wanted to say I love this channel and Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. Very kind. Hope you get better. Feel better, man.
Do you have any experience in working with haunts at theme parks?
Yes, I do. I've been haunting for 33 years. And I've done some at theme parks. I've helped folks who did, like Six Flags haunts and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I have some. I worked at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights for several years when I was in Orlando. What I'm doing now is I'm using water to smooth this out. You can smooth out most epoxy clays with water. I'm also taking a tongue depressor, probably my favorite sculpting tool ever. And I'm spreading it out nice and thin. And that way I can easily get a nice transition from the clay into the EVA foam. You'll see it as pretty harsh because of the color difference. But once I paint it, it'll just go away. So what's everybody got going on tonight? Obviously, I'm working in the shop. Several people have said they're working on things. It's tonight to hang out with family night.
What do you dress Baby Yoda with?
Standard Baby Yoda robe with woolly collar, of course. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm doing what they did. So, yeah. I just make him wear what he wears in the show. And I'll be making that. I don't know if I'll make it tonight or tomorrow morning, but it'll be happening.
Alan Hirsch says, I'll be in New Orleans in January for HauntCon. Ezekiel, right, I'm back. Aircon on and settling in. I'm sure the daughter will want one of these. Get one of these too.
Now, Ezekiel, how far are you from the terrible, terrible fires that are happening in Australia? It seems like the whole continent is on fire, if you can believe American news coverage. But if it's going to snow here in Dallas, that's all they show on TV too for like 5 days. So I don't really know what to believe. How close are you to all those terrible fires?
Chad says, I have to get ready for work. I'll finish this video on lunch. Thanks for everything, you two. Have a Merry Christmas. See you at Transworld.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:23 p.m.
Speaking of fabric, I just bought some duck cloth to shred and distress for outside props. I am really liking it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
You're asking what people are doing. Says I'm waiting for glue to dry on a miniature. It's hell.
What kind of miniature? I used to play 40K.
Because I want to get out to the garage and service my props, but it's too damn cold. We are watching you as we are making our skull wall.
Cool.
Currently working on sculpting my own ventriloquist dummy. It's
Awesome.
8 a.m. I'm going to mount my monkey skull in a cloche, I think. You triggered my Alexa. If you start doing spooky dolls, I'm super excited for teeny costumes. That's Stacy. I'm figuring out how to best attack restoring an old foam latex prop that has seen better days. It's about 4 foot by 3 foot head.
Wow.
Do you believe Whataburger is a religion in Texas?
Well, I worship there on occasion. A huge fan of Whataburger.
A fruit tree for D&D is my project. What would you use for creating a hoof for a life-size Wendigo?
Well, life-size human size or life-size attached to a stilt?
I'm cleaning and sterilizing baby bottles while you are making a baby Yoda.
But I normally do my Yeti hoofs, and I can say that because I've made several, out of EVA foam.
We should all praise the double-double from Whataburger.
Heck yes. Okay, so right now, I'm getting this. He's lining up. It's happening. It's happening. What's taking the longest on this is mixing the clay. But this is going to be like hard plastic hard tomorrow. So it's actually, I like making it out of this because it's going to be durable, it's going to survive. Okay.
But shouldn't he be snuggly?
Not my job.
Baby Yoda has chubby cheeks like Gary Coleman.
I suppose that's true.
Looks like the alien from Mac and Me.
Right now, it has no nose, and the Q quotient is not that high right now.
You guys had to bring that up. Now I crave a double-double with bacon and jalapenos. Good job, guys. Always put jalapenos.
Good thing is, they're open 24 hours, so you can go get one.
And like Gary Coleman, Baby Yoda has not aged in 50 years.
That's correct. It's a fresh baby Yoda right here.
Will you ever be in Southeast Tennessee by chance?
I don't know. I have been there before. Used to drive through Memphis every year to get to Midwest Haunters Convention. But I go places when someone hires me to go there. So I'm either training a haunted house that's in, or I'm attending a trade show like in Chicago or St. Louis.
Closest thing I have to Whataburger in Ohio is a Five Guys.
Five Guys is not a bad burger.
No, it's not.
It's a good burger. I like mine. I like a double, of course. And I like extra cheese and mushrooms and A1 sauce. That's it.
No vegetables?
No vegetables. Don't wreck it.
What about vegetables?
Terrible. Like crunchy water.
Did you go to Mysterious Mansion in Gatlinburg?
I have not spent a lot of time in Gatlinburg, I'm afraid.
Ezekiel says the closest thing to a Whataburger I get is if I see someone eating it on the TV. You know, Ezekiel, come to Texas.
Don't want to make Ezekiel mad. I'll move that cup out of view.
No grilled onions?
No, not for me. I'm not an onion guy. Okay, so we're getting there. We're kind of getting there as far as this goes.
Oh, he's so cute.
He is the cutest
He's
thing.
the cutest thing. I'm a Jack in the Box guy. Me too.
I prefer Whataburger, but Jack in the Box is a good burger.
Jack in the Box has got great egg rolls and tacos.
Monster cheeseburger is very
They will
good.
save you. That wants a cauliflower pizza, Michael Lassiter.
I want a cauliflower pizza. Don't make me.
Where is a Jack in the Box still open?
All over Texas.
Ezekiel says, I'm still craving chicken fried steak from my last Texas visit.
Come on down anytime, Ezekiel.
We got a room for you.
We got a room for you. Come on.
We understand. When we run out of Tim Tams.
Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding.
Okay, I got one more of these little folds to do. I'm not necessarily keeping track, but I am looking. If I see the heavy striations, I just make sure that
You have to tell Ezekiel that about Dana and Scott bringing back 5 pounds of Tim Tams for mustard.
Yeah, we had some friends who went on vacation, and they went to New Zealand and Australia, and they discovered Tim Tams, and they brought back 5 pounds of Tim Tams in their suitcase. Not for anybody else, just for them. Okay.
Ezekiel said, "Raid the farmer's batch I sent them. There should be there anyway." There should be there anyway. Oh, they're in disharmony lines. Does curing time for clay and latex, etc., vary a lot depending on where you are in the U.S. or is it equal?
Curing time should be the same based on the product. The difference is going to be temperature. So if it's colder where you're at, it's going to take a little longer for whatever it is to cure or set up.
Stacy says, "All right, Hop says Merry Christmas, Mrs. Claus. We'll see you soon." Good night, Stacy.
Good night.
What type of clay are you using?
I am using Magic Sculpt. Magic Sculpt you can buy off of Amazon. It comes in a blue tub and a red tub. Just like that. You get both of them together. Most taxidermy supply places sell it. Let us quickly put in a little mouth here. I have a lot of material, so take it away. I'm just going to put in his little bottom lip, which is ridiculously tiny, his bottom lip. Okay, let's put in this top lip. And the top lip kind of happens.
Tommy64 says, Yoda kind of looks like a rugrat.
Kind of, yes.
Not much big game hunting in Ireland, says Lorcan. He would like to try taxidermy.
Well, you don't have a lot of big game left in Ireland. You know what? One of the things that I wish I could have seen was an Irish deer with huge racks. They just look like they would be beautiful animals. It's too much. Nose is tiny, man. This is the tiniest nose. It's like a little bean.
What is the work time with the clay till it's set?
About an hour.
Will you make a one-eyed frog?
Oh. I had not planned on making a frog to go with it.
That's a great idea. How much time do you have to work with the epoxy before it gets hard?
You have about an hour, and then it's a little too hard to work with.
Swedish moose is a spectacular beast. That's from Ezekiel.
Swedish moose.
Oh,
I gotta look into that.
intrigued. What is the flower under his nose?
What?
Says, what is that flower under his nose?
What does he mean by that?
Not sure. What you mean, Alan? Scary Mary, I remember you unboxing your new glue gun. How do you like them now that you've broken them in?
Love them. I love them. Awesome. Awesome glue guns.
Oh, Alan Hirsch says tulips.
Read the whole thing again for me, honey.
Because what is the flower under his nose? Tulips. He made a joke. It was funny.
Oh, that does not translate in the internet, my friend.
I prefer a nice honey badger. That's cobwebs and candlesticks.
There are no nice honey badgers. We're getting there. We're dialing in. It's like a frog baby right now. Oh, what happened?
What?
My slideshow stopped. There we go.
Baby Yoda before coffee.
I wouldn't give Baby Yoda coffee. I just don't think it's a good idea. Not there. There.
Are you gonna make a little ball he floats around in?
No. No, I am not. I had thought about it at one time, but
That would be adorable.
I didn't have time for that. I have yet to master levitation.
And everybody who had got their hands on him at the party wanted to hold him and burp him, and
Yeah.
they all want to hold him.
See, I'm putting in face now. We're getting to where I'm putting in some face details. I'll be moving things around now more than sculpting per se.
Well, here's an interesting question. What changes would you make to Baby Yoda to make it a gremlin? That's interesting.
Oh, the eyes go smaller for sure, and the mouth gets bigger. Baby Yoda has very large eyes, and large eyes equals cute. So that's the first thing I would change to make him scary, is make those eyes smaller. And instead of being round, they would be more angular, because angles are more scary than round. And by bringing those forehead wrinkles so far back, I am flattening out the head a little bit. You see? Now the head is, I've elongated the head.
Will he have a force hand?
Yes, he will. Who said that?
Tough Billy Homestead, Tugs Billy Homestead.
He will indeed.
You should make one out of a baby alive so he can be burped and diaper changed. Oh, Ezekiel.
That's a little gross.
Will you punch it in hair?
No. I will glue on hair.
Squallberg says, that's why my kids are so beautiful. Large eyes.
Right.
Janet Alvarez, I use smooth on to make my mother molds. It's very light and that the same.
Yeah, that would probably work very well. This is not as light. This is a little more full-bodied, so that might work even better actually. But whenever I'm working on something with a time limit, like this has a time limit. These are gifts for a party. I want to work with material I'm familiar with if I possibly can. I'm just shaping. Now I'm shaping these wrinkles that I put in. I'm making them look the way that I want them to look. And I really have to fix this mouth, because his mouth is not cute. He's got a fish mouth. So I gotta push in here, kill that lip, make that lip go away here. Push this in. Don't want that. Let's calm this down a little bit. And let's go ahead and wet this and start smoothing so I can really put in.
Have you made a critter from the movie?
Yes, I've made a critter from the movie Critters. I made a critter puppet many, many years ago.
What kind of doll are you using?
The finest $10 doll from Walmart.
are the differences between this clay and a traditional mask clay?
Well, a traditional mass clay would be something like red clay, which means it would dry out. This clay won't dry out, harden. So it's a different animal like altogether.
Ezekiel says that he can't wait for a standalone Wookiee movie because them babies would be cute.
Well, if you haven't seen the holiday special for Star Wars, a lot of it takes place on Kashyyyk, and there's a lot of just Wookiee talking, which no one understands. They're a wonderful piece of cinema. Okay, I can see there's a big push in here. This needs to be more full. I can see it needs more fullness now. So I'm going to add in some. This side is more full than this side already. I'm just going to even it out first.
Is there any prop or props in particular that are most troublesome when in action?
When in action? Well, puppets are always kind of tough because you have to worry about weight and the performer being able to carry that weight and give a good performance. So puppets are always difficult. But also, anything with a linkage in it, anything time you're relying on technology, I think that you run a big risk of it performing poorly or just not working for you. I think that is going to really help. It doesn't look great right now, but I think that little bit of clay we put right there is going to push him over the edge.
Is the clay like monster clay?
No, this is softer than monster clay actually. Now monster clay soft is probably on a similar par with this, but monster clay medium is firmer. This will dry, this will cure, I should say. It's not going to dry, it's going to cure overnight, but it'll get hard in an hour or so.
Will you be making hands as well for the baby?
Yes, I'll be making hands, but the hands are like so easy. I want this line to go away between them, so I'm running the end of my shaper tool over it and just marrying them together.
Sir Slopes a lot says, what are some of the titles of your DVDs? I went to Props and didn't see them. I just posted the link with your name attached to it there in the comments, so you should be able to go straight to it. Anything highly mechanical tends to break down a lot, especially when it gets old.
Oh yeah.
Larry Hughes, evening sir, I see you are doing a video on another great piece. Speaking puppet, I am making a puppet for a Christmas gift, not really Halloween related.
This really isn't either, except these techniques you can certainly use to make things for Halloween. So while I am making a Baby Yoda, you could easily make your own design of a goblin or anything like that with these very same techniques. Same materials, same all that stuff.
The base of the ears should be lower, almost mouth level.
Yes, they should. I completely agree with you. And I may have to go in and change. Maybe I made the ears too thin. It is possible that I'll have to rip those off and do them again. I completely agree.
My poor zombie snail from Fright Props is falling apart. I think the latex is shot.
I don't think they sell those anymore either.
Not really.
But they do, I mean, they will rot. I mean, latex is a natural material, you know, so.
Would it be appropriate to say rest in peace to a zombie?
No, because they're not resting and they're not at peace.
Who is your favorite slasher icon?
My favorite slasher, I got to go with Jason right now because we live in a log cabin and we signed for it on Friday the 13th. So that leads me a little bit to be inclined towards Jason.
Yes, zombie snail is unavailable.
So sad.
You had one for your wife.
I did have to get one for my wife. All right, so a lot of stuff that's happening back here in these ears, I'm very happy with. So it's frustrating that I do have to change them out, but you're absolutely right, whoever made that observation. This has to come lower. But I don't have to pull off what I have. What I can do is I can make more clay, and I can bring that down with clay.
Scary Mary says, I have all of Alan's DVDs and I highly recommend them. We had nights where our actors would come in and have popcorn and watch the actor training videos.
Now, Scary Mary, why did you stop doing your haunted house? What made you stop doing that? I'm afraid I'm out of the loop. I'm so wrapped up in my own world sometimes, I don't hear a lot of news. It's pretty close right off the bat.
Zombie snail, it's too bad they're discontinued because they are rad. They're pretty adorable.
They are
One of
rad.
the funniest things I've ever seen.
Somewhere I went this year had a zombie squirrel,
Yes, and we bought him.
which was awesome.
We had to have him. Because that's funny. But a zombie snail is really fun.
Because, you know, it's going to be slower than a regular snail because it's a zombie. Oh, okay. Yeah, these ears, trunks need to be thicker. The ears themselves need to go a little lower. That is perfectly fine. I'm going to use what I've got on there as a base and build out from there. Now, I could have obsessed about the ears and measured and done a lot more to make sure they were the right size, or I can just fix it like I'm doing it now.
Health issues.
Well, that sucks.
Now they're talking about a zombie sloth, a zombie octopus. Got a conversation going here.
It's all fun and games until someone gets attacked by a zombie octopus.
They're pretty adorable.
Tell you what, my hands and arms are tired of mixing this clay. What the heck?
What are you thinking?
What was I? Yeah, this is a terrible idea. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:50 p.m.
Perfect. I feel I'm really dialing in on the sculpture now. I've got these corrections to make. The hands I know won't take that long. Mixing the material will take the longest. So, and I will paint him and everything tomorrow. What's good is I could put a base coat on him tonight because this is going to cure regardless of the air. You know, it's not air dry like latex is. I could paint this and it would be fine. And I may give it a spray base coat.
You triggered violence again. She wants me to tell you to have a good night.
I am having a good night because I'm in the shop. Okay. I'm looking at my reference the whole time that I'm doing this. And yeah, I got to bring these ears down significantly. One more time, roll it out, fold it on itself.
I am unendingly amused at the idea of a zombie snail desire to feed, yet the inability to actually catch anyone. Roger Miller says, I talked about haunt gorillas at Tuesday, set an interview this week with Rex B. Hamilton.
Oh, Rex.
Rex? Mary says, I will still be around in the haunt for the first time.
Very cool. Go. Getting there. It makes those ears bigger. This is going to change this shape a little bit over here on this side. I'll do the other one.
There's Frank.
Frank?
Sec. He says, when you asked what time it was, hours answered. Sorry, Frank. Says, with those big ears, he needs earrings.
No. You're not looking at your visual reference. That is better already as far as the ears go. Hopefully you guys can see and think in two colors and it's not throwing you off because the ears are two colors. Sometimes I have clay and the clays are just two different colors and you got to look past that when you're looking at your sculpture. But these need to get thickened up too because these are much stronger on Baby Yoda. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get 3 Baby Yodas out of this kit. And this kit was $45. Pretty close in size.
He looks sad, kind of mean.
Well, he is sad. Baby Yoda looks a little bit sad.
People's
For 4 a.m.
Stop! That's so mean. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, you're too. You're a jerk.
I'm gonna mash the heck of those cheeks up. Almost there. Yeah, this will be nice.
Looks great. I bet you can make some.
Way back. But I made gremlins that were not movie-based gremlins. I made gremlins for my monster. Just kind of staring into space right now. Mixing this clay. I know it's entertaining. I think this will be enough. Yeah, thickening that is important. Do a little areas on his head that are just a little raised. Boy, this guy's so stinking cute. Maybe not my version, but man, he is just cute in general.
He is.
So now it's gonna. Now I'm dialing it in. You know, we're bringing it in the focus here as far as this is what's happening.
Cut out a little bit.
I did.
That'll stop.
What
Alan,
kind?
you're so lucky to have a wife that participates with you.
Yes. I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Skullberg says, I blame Doyle. I'm sure he's using our tablet to watch cat videos.
Probably is.
That cat.
Jonesy was on the screen of my phone.
I just got a gallon of the air epoxy clay to make my Yoda now.
Oh, very cool. Hey, wife.
Yes.
Let me tell you what some YouTube channels have, and you might not even know this. Some YouTube channels have an Amazon store where I can put links to what I'm using on Amazon, and then if people buy it like that, I get a kickback. And I think you should investigate that and see about us setting up
I have never heard of such a
an
thing.
Amazon store. Where it's all stuff from Amazon. We're not selling anything, but they go through our links to get it. And then it makes a little bit of money.
Dan Caro says, send me the child.
Well,
Says, alive, but proof of termination is acceptable for a lower fee. No, I've never heard of that.
I'm telling you now.
By the way, I watched your fur transfer cart you did a while ago, and thanks. I've been trying to do a project and got hung up furring it.
Well, very cool.
Will you be making the hands tomorrow or tonight?
Probably tonight.
It's called an Amazon affiliate. Okay, Mike, I'll have to look into this. I've never heard of this. See, lots of woodworkers do this.
Yeah, a lot of makers do it.
Affiliate links, Frank says. Okay, this is news to me.
You all right, love?
Oh, my tree smells so good.
It's not your tree, it's your presents.
It's my presents. Long.
Okay. See, we're getting it dialed in. It's looking more and more like Baby Yoda.
Woo. Amazon affiliate. Okay, Scott Colhart just sent me the link to it. Thanks, Scott.
That's right. Make her get busy.
Okay, because I don't have enough to do.
That's right.
So cute. It's for all those cleaners Alan got you for Christmas. That's what I'm getting. Shouldn't you shave a furry pillow and spray adhesive on that?
What?
How many years have you been sculpting?
I have been sculpting since '97. I've been actually kind of good since 2015 because I didn't take it serious. I did it to do it, not to be a good sculptor. I am a much better mask maker than I am a sculptor, I'll be honest with you. But I get by on sculpting. Okay, now his mouth, I am just not digging this mouth at all. So let me play with his mouth and figure it out. Move my water and my other sculpting tools closer. Okay, I see something else I need to do. And so everything is related on the face. And right now I've got these real bug eyes because this area is not filled in and I have to put some material there. Baby Yoda's eyes are fully framed and I don't have that per se. Now I do. This is better. See, that actually helped quite a bit, just that. Just those little bridge pieces there. So I have been on a kick of eating a little bit less and just trying to get better. And here's what's crazy. I'm down 8 pounds. That's pretty good. I'm very happy with that. But it's about 10% of what I want to lose. I think at this point in my life, it's probably need to lose.
Mike says that looks like Angelina Jolie lips. Are you going to smooth out the wrinkles?
Some of them, not all of them. This guy is, we're pretty early. I mean, I haven't worked on him at all as far as smoothing out.
Skullberg says, I'm gonna lose again. Are y'all having another?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is that what this is about?
Yeah, because he needs to lose like 12 pounds.
Oh my God.
And I got to
Really?
lose
I'm
like
doing this
80.
again.
So, but yeah, I've been pretty good.
I did a version of a baby doll head shelf you did on a video before my Halloween at my haunt. It was avoided by many patrons, LOL. Thank you for the years of inspiration and help in the haunt industry.
Okay, I think I made that in 2011. And what they're referring to is it's a shelf full of dolls. And I worked for a company called House of Boo, and we had all of our product line was around a fake toy store, and like a haunted toy store. So they're all kind of the same doll, different color dresses and stuff. And every 6 seconds, the shelf of 30 dolls, one head would turn. And there were 9 of them on that shelf that turned. And there were 9 of them on the shelf that turned. And then when they all went through that cycle of turning, that next cycle, they would all go back to center. And people really noticed that one.
When Yoda poops, does he relax or does he force it? Oh my, okay. My buddy gave up pop and lost 30 pounds.
Well,
Dan Caro says, yes, good. Make the cheeks more chubby. I can give advice since he is sending me this one. I'll let you respond to that.
a lot of static on the line. I can't hear what's being said.
You have the cheeks and the mouth on the same plane. Cheeks should be lower. It looks great though.
No, I disagree. If you look at the reference of Baby Yoda, his cheek, they hang down lower, but the bulk of them are even with that top lip. Like the middle is in with the top lip, and that's what's happening in the reference. So I am looking at the reference, and that's what's informing my decisions. Here you guys can kind of see what good water does with this clay. It smooths it out too. Yeah, his cheeks are actually start really high. Now I mean, what you guys can't see is I'm looking at my references here, and it's up here on a big screen. So I am really looking at the reference. Reference is huge to doing a good job, and I'm watching for the mouth right now.
Scott Colhart just sent a link. Says Shannon, Home Depot has an affiliate program.
What?
And says now if Harbor Freight has an affiliate program, Alan could retire in heat gun sales.
I have sold a few heat guns in my day.
Lorcan says, rich or poor, losing weight is hard work. I have mad respect for anyone trying to be healthier. I'm currently trying to lose a significant amount of weight myself. Cobwebs and Candlestick says, it's our angle from being higher up. Maybe that's the...
Maybe, yeah. I mean, if I...
Saying less brow.
No. Not less brow. Maybe differently shaped brow, but Baby Yoda has a lot of brow.
His eyes need to be more slanty.
You know what? I can't. If you make the eyes more slanty, then they are not as big. There's a couple pictures of him where his eyes are kind of half closed, and they are really slanty. I've got one in my reference. But him at his cutest, his eyes are very, very full and open. Where you will get some slantiness is I'm going to push in my corners here. And that'll read because that line is now continuing a little more that way. I'm actually pushing this eye open a little more because Baby Yoda. And I'm just using this is the silicone tipped sculpting tool. If you're going to get one silicone tipped tool, it's this one, okay? Maybe a little smaller, but this is a good size too. The different colors of silicone are for firmness. This is like a medium firmness. So, but yeah, this is a really good tool for teeth and eyes and just general shapes.
Says I have lost 70 pounds since June.
Who did that?
Fondant.
Fondayan?
Fondayan.
Awesome. Way to go.
Um,
You're my hero. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Baby Yoda memes are taking over the world.
They are, and for good reason. Better than hearing about Trump.
If you push back on each side of the mouth about 1/4 of an inch of the corners, is the suggestion.
Push back?
Says I don't suggest how I did it for anyone though. The weight loss. I don't know what you did.
Heroin?
Okay, that's good.
I'll just tell you, that's a surefire way to lose weight. This lip is too curved and it's too mushy.
Great creation, mate. Gonna sell these if they work.
No, I'm not selling these. These are someone else's intellectual property. I don't own the rights. It's not legal for me to sell it.
Fondant says less than 50 grams of carbs per day, no sugar or soda. And Dan Carroll says he can't sell what is mine. You have to work on Dan.
Well, now, Dan Caro is not getting one for Christmas. But there's always Danoween and Danmas, which is coming up, if I recall. Dan Caro, for those who are watching, he was the best man in my wedding. He is a very good friend of mine. He lives in the Orlando area, and I live in the Dallas, Texas area. Some of you guys probably have no idea where I live.
Who would win in a Disney baby battle? Baby Yoda or Stitch?
Well, if you're talking all Disney babies, I'm going to give it to Flash from The Incredibles. Powers.
Baby Yoda rules the world right now.
Baby Yoda can do no wrong.
Yeah, I'm worried about him though.
Okay, put in some of these swoopy wrinkles up in here. You know what? Let's fill in these divots because these divots don't exist. Those divots are from when I made the how I made the ears and stuff. So let's just fill those in. Now I'm dealing with a head underneath of here that is not, this was a baby head. And Baby Yoda does not have human baby proportions. In the body, it's not too far off. He's actually a little chunkier. But it's not too bad. But I was limited on head size. Ideally, Baby Yoda's head to be a little more squished and a little wider. But I got a baby head in there I got to worry about.
Frank says Lynn is worried about Baby Yoda as well. She says he's in peril. I agree. How am I supposed to enjoy Christmas not knowing what's happening to Baby Yoda? I'm having a tough time. Dan Carroll says Jack.
Yeah, the Incredible Baby. Yes.
He says Baby Yoda is fine, but maybe Alan should do a battle-damaged. Oh boy, I'm sorry guys, I'm not cool. KULK Kuiil next. Kuiil. What is that, Dan?
No.
Kuiil. I don't know what that is. The Ugnaught.
Oh.
Quill.
Just say Nolte.
Yoda reminds me of a gizmo popping out of a really cute gremlin.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair and accurate. I'm just using some of the clay I've got up to fill these because Baby Yoda doesn't have any of these little pits. And I've just got some little pits because I've built up areas to where they need to be. And now I'm working on the areas in between, which oddly is an issue I had with my haunt designing for a while, where I would design great rooms and I would not bother designing hallways. So it's those in-between areas now I focus on because at one time I did not do them well.
You could make a gizmo sculpt.
Again, that is someone else's intellectual property. So if I made it, I would have to make it just for a friend or for a gift or whatever. If I start doing YouTube Wednesday again, like hardcore, you might see more of that stuff from me where I'm not making stuff just for me. When I was doing YouTube Wednesday and doing a project every week, I made a lot of stuff that I had to give away because I had so many things just floating around that I had made. It was not practical for me to keep it all. So if I do a YouTube Wednesday again, as religiously as I have done before, then I might do some sculpts of other intellectual properties because I wouldn't be making things that I need. Right now, most of the time when I'm making stuff, it's because I need it for the haunt.
You know what would be a good idea if you did that again, if you started up on YouTube Wednesday again, then the things that you make, you could just take them to Trans World and have a YouTube Wednesday show.
That's possible.
Okay, I've been watching from the beginning. Great 2 hours so far, but I need to wrap gifts and get my beauty sleep. Bless you, Alan and Shannon. Have a Merry Christmas and a good night. Good night.
Get your beauty sleep.
Get your beauty sleep.
I want my beauty sleep, beauty sleep, beauty sleep. I want my beauty sleep.
Janet Alvarez says, brush handle, place it beside the nostril, mash it down beside the corners of the mouth to the chin. Bad Boy Billy says, how much would you make these privately if I wanted one? It's not against the law if it's not commercial made per customer.
If I'm selling it to you, then it's commercial. You just ask me how much I want it. I am showing you how to do it. This is step by step. You can just do what I do, and you too can make your own Baby Yoda. Y-O-D-A, Yoda. Yeah, that's I've said for years to people who there are some haunt vendors who are like, how come you're showing people how to make everything? I'm like, man, if you want to sell 10 of something, try teaching people how to make it because most folks do not want to make it themselves. Oh, see that hole? Oh, so good to fill those holes in. These are just divots from how I sculpted and how I made them.
Do viewer giveaways or whatnot.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah. Heading to bed myself, enjoyed this greatly. That is Tuxbilly Homestead. Dan says, what if I order a baby doll, some green paint, and some Sculpey, and it just happens to show up shaped like a Baby Yoda? You could do that. That's your friend, Dan, doing that.
Dan, what reasons do you have to want a Baby Yoda? Is it medical? Is that the thing? I'm gonna mix up another batch. I wanna I want to connect all this on the ears back here because I worry about it. I worry about strength. So probably, Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10:23 p.m.
Yeah, I probably won't be done this sculpture like completely till almost 11.
If you had a YouTube Wednesday shelf at Transworld, you could have some sort of giveaway at the show.
You know what? I already give away at the show. Well, I don't give away, but I give stuff to the Who Wants to Be a Monster auction, and I give stuff to the Haunted Attraction Association auction.
So Lorcan said, Dan Caro, this guy knows how to do business.
He does indeed.
Dan says, how uncharacteristic to ask such questions. It's against the code of the guild. Man, I quote this show too much. I need to get out more, meet some people. Frank says, watch out. There are going to be mass shipments of these supplies sent to the Hacienda. Oh my God, Frank, you're right.
No, because they're not going to become Baby Yoda
Oh
shape.
no.
Hashtag still illegal. Okay. Again, I got another good size. Stand up a little bit. You would think that this gets your arms tired, but it does. It's like shakeweed.
So can I get you
But not
a
as
Baby
uncomfortable.
Yoda plush out there yet? Plushies.
They don't have them out yet. I mean, they're just not available yet. They're coming, but Disney was behind the ball on it. I'm not sure why.
Scott Colhart, Shannon, Harbor Freight and Hobby Lobby have affiliate programs. Oh my gosh.
Wife,
What?
start making us the Benjamins. You just got to push some buttons on a keyboard.
Frank says, Lynn said at least he has pants on.
I do have pants on.
Dan Caro says, not until late March.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. They really dropped the ball on this.
Thanks, Scott, for information on affiliate programs. I've never heard of such a thing.
It's a way to make money
Oh my goodness.
and do this kind of stuff. And I hate to say that I do enough of this kind of stuff to make money at it, but the appreciation of all the people who are watching is lovely. And it does actually help me sell product at shows and things because people feel like they know me and whatnot. So that's helpful. But yeah, having some money come in from affiliate stuff would not be bad.
Dan says because Jon Favreau wouldn't let them merchandise the child yet, he wanted to keep it a secret. They would have to show him at Toy Fair, and then it would be
Yeah.
a secret.
That's true.
So Disney had to sacrifice soliciting the toy in order to keep the character a secret. Interesting. Lorcan says apparently a big problem with spoilers is the toy fairs, as toys tend to be the antecedent to the show or film. So they made the choice to halt production of toys and merch to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, with some of the movies I have seen the toys in in Walmart. And I'm like, oh, the movie's not out yet, but I guess that's the villain, you know. Have a hair, a hot glue gun hair on it.
So Dan gets it. Dan is good people.
Dan is good people.
Dan is good people.
Dan worked with me at Terror and Church Street and Skull Kingdom.
The Monster Museum.
And the Monster Museum, of
Duh,
course.
he says. He just duh you.
Duh.
Duh.
But he has never seen Dark Hour Haunted House.
What?
He's never seen it. He hasn't been here in 8 years.
Well, Dan, you just got called out. He says, no, I even did some design work for it.
He's never seen it.
Oh, Dan.
Okay, now it's not stripy. That is oddly tiring. Boop. Just a little.
Somewhere in China, a child is building his millionth Yoda.
That's right.
Dan says, I vow to see it. I will come there, see dark hour, and pick up my baby Yoda.
Okay. When you visit, I'll give you baby Yoda.
Woo, Dan. Dan, you've been called out. This is my second one because he's shipping me this one. Sorry for the confusion.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, Dan.
You guys might think I feel bad, but I've been disappointing Dan for years.
He says, yes, he has. Not really. I'm proud of him.
So Dan and I
Oh, Dan.
would talk haunted house, and we have very different backgrounds. Well, similar childhoods, but different backgrounds. That just the path that he is on is a little different from mine. Where I went into 3D stuff, effects like this, Dan became a graphic artist, and he has always been story based. And he actually taught me a lot about why a show should do certain things and that kind of stuff. He's always been very cinematic. I have not.
Forget we have deliveries tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Under cover of darkness.
Definitely under the cover of darkness. But I'll get this guy finished up. And the hands won't take long at all. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10:32 p.m.
10:32. So the art, something is done when it needs to be done. Let me say that sentence first. Could I work on it and make it better for 2 or 3 days? Absolutely, I could. But then it wouldn't be done on time. And finished is better than perfect. People respect things that are finished. Perfect things that are not finished aren't that great. I don't think anything can be perfect either. I mean, I'm always learning. You know, I know more today than I knew when I did the last one. So this one's going to be better than the last couple, simply because of what I've learned along the way. And already, I mean, I took a lot longer on those than I did on this one. Right now, we're just melding the ear together. This is going to give great strength to it. It's going to all be one piece. A little better if I had had the ear foam be all one piece from the get-go, but I didn't. Maybe it would have been better if I had taken off the ear foam and put a bigger one on. That's possible. That's not a route I decided to go.
Dan says, and Wolfie taught me to make grown-ups cry and get paid for it. He says Alan Hobbs.
That's right.
Janet Alvarez, I also watch Stan Winston and have video of painting my silicones. I love watching other people create.
Yeah, you know what? There is something really cool to it. I think old Bob Ross was onto something with his show, The Joy of Painting.
What are the clothes made out of, burlap or canvas?
Some cool brown material that I have around the shop. It's neither burlap nor canvas. It's a weave that I was going to use at one point in time to line a Minotaur armor, but I did not finish because no one was paying me to make a Minotaur. So I ended up going with another project. Yeah, that's nice. I like that transfer. That swoop is better. I'm going to address some mouth issues here shortly. Get that shaped a little better. Not hiding it from you, that's just the angle I had to work at. On some of these, there's the slightest upturn down here on the mouth after it turns down a little bit. So it's down and then up, sort of. Now, I wish I had more space in between my eyes. My eyes are a little too close together. They're too close together. My eyes are too close together.
You painting him up on this line?
No, I won't paint him till tomorrow. I just won't be able to.
Dan says, gah. This needs perpendicular ripples on the top of the head, faux hawk.
No.
Oh my God, you just killed Baby Yoda, lobotomy. Alan Hirsch says, have to go to bed. Thanks for a great evening. I'll be watching for you and the wife again. Thanks to both. What'd you do to baby Yoda? What's the little
His eyes are too close together.
What are you doing to him?
I'm ripping his eyes out.
Oh, God.
Ripping his eyes out, moving them a little further apart.
That's terrible.
Necessary. And unfortunately, I used really good hot glue to put them in. Can't move just one. That would be weird.
Dan says, Alan's are too, but I never stabbed him in the head. Says, Alan now demonstrates what the Empire would have done.
That's right. That's what they're working on. That's why they want
Boy
them.
Billy says they definitely need to be over a bit. Oh, gosh. Look what you did. Call it a sloth child. That's a sculper. Dan, I can't watch. You're freaking out, Dan. Oh! Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Okay, here's something though. All right, we all knew those eyes were too close together. Don't not correct the mistake just because it took you a long time to make it. I don't care if we're talking about a sculpture, a marriage, a career decision. Don't not correct the mistake just because it took you a long time to make it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I have some time invested in this. But I know it's going to get done. I just want it done right. The old Alan of a few years back would not have done this because I would have said, that's good enough. Good enough just isn't.
Oh my God, sacrifice baby Yoda. They're all screaming. Bad boy Billy, what you should do is widen the cheeks and his eyes.
What? Are you watching? What the heck? Why don't you yell at a fat man at the gym too while you're at it?
Because the old Alan wouldn't stab a baby in the eyes, says Dan Carey.
I would too. I think I'm less likely to stab a baby in the eye.
Oh, this is terrible to watch.
Piece of ping pong in there like eggshells.
Horrified. Dan says he too would. Lorcan, I'm starting to think this was a plan all along.
No, I swear. I intend to.
Oh.
There we
This
go.
will be trending as a child massacre.
All right, so look, there we go.
Oh.
This is a baby in a Baby Yoda mask is what we got right now.
Terrible.
I have to grab a new ping pong and cut a ping pong ball.
Dan's okay, maybe don't send me this one.
It's gonna be better.
Oh.
Yep.
Bad boy Billy says, I meant widen his cheeks too. If you move the eyes, the cheeks need to come out of it.
We'll see.
The cheeks should also hang down almost lower than the chin. Oh, and give him some eyes, baby. Oh my God, that's terrible. It's okay. Get back to it. Looks like backstage at Disneyland. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry. Honestly, I had no idea this was going to happen. Dan, you gotta calm Dan down. He says, my first time signing into one of these and I get this.
Look,
And you wonder
look,
why I don't
new
miss
eyes.
it.
New eyes right here.
Upsetting people.
New eyes. New eyes are coming.
Upsetting people.
Okay. Gotta find the seam line of the ping pong ball. Okay, ping pong ball is in half. We will be able to put in his eyes. That is going to be so much better. When you cut a ping pong ball at the seam, one half is bigger than the other because the seam tends to stick to one side. So look, now, isn't that more Baby Yoda-like already? This will probably be the best one because
It says, put his eyes in, put them in.
they're in. Look at that really surprised Baby Yoda.
It's getting late, just put some swimming goggles on it.
That would be one way of finishing him, yes.
Man says, after 45 years, tonight's the night I start drinking. Yes, York, you just reminded me I need to put the eyes on my corpse prop. That'll be real fun.
Eyes are important, man.
So I'm going to put some red LEDs in the eyes.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, they're talking so fast I can't keep up. They're all so horrified.
They're not horrified,
Horrified.
they're enjoying the opportunities. All right, but once I get this treatment set, he's going to be in way better shape because the eyes are the right. That was big. When your eyes are too close together, that's what made him look like whatever in Me Alien. Was his eyes were too close together.
Okay.
You guys made my wife give up on comments.
It's just they're just spinning. Dan says, I'm not surprised you stabbed Baby Yoda in the eyes on live whatever this time. This is the guy who came up with the kitten in a bag show.
I forgot the I've got a bag of kittens trick.
Oh,
I forgot all about that.
apparently Dan didn't. I don't know what that is.
It may have scarred some folks.
Bad boy Billy. He has a catty shape to his eyes, mate. Add a slightly catty shape to them.
No. His eyes are pretty circular to almond. There's a few visual references where his eyes are closed. But this Baby Yoda isn't going to be able to open and close his eyes. He's not on video. So if I make his eyes slitty, then he's going to seem angry or evil. And that's what I have to avoid. I hate saying no all the sculpting tips, but no. Now this all needs to get shaped. And I'm not going to mess with the roundness of the eye. I am going to pull a corner into the eye.
Dan says, correct. He can't open and close his eyes if you stab them.
All right. And that's a corner to the eye. There. This one needs a little more material in here.
Alan is going to ask me to not log in anymore.
Dan, you are perfectly fine. It's actually kind of good to talk to you. I hope that you and your family and Joanna have a Merry Christmas. And your kids. Who are, frankly, adults.
Amber's not.
No. All right, so we're getting there. This eye is a little more buggy than that one, so I've got to put a little more material under this one. Bring that material out a little bit. By material, I mean eyelid. Now, Baby Yoda, as long as you get a few things right, I mean, it's actually pretty forgiving. You know, you put giant eyes on that sucker. And I wish these eyes were a little bigger. I just don't have... My next size up is some Christmas ornaments, and they are just too big. A lot of my references are very simplified toys just for head shape, but really, now I need the CG pictures that I've got up here. And often I will go in and I will refine my visual reference. Like I'll take off the basic head shape stuff once that's done. And Baby Yoda's, his eyes all happen in here, let's say. And then this is nose stuff that's happening. I've got to stop the eye stuff from happening. Start the nose stuff. There's one thing you got to do. It's got to make that cute Baby Yoda nose. And then stab it. And on a lot of the reference, he has there's just some little wrinkles right here in his nose area.
Is the paint up going to be on the same channel?
I could probably go live while I paint him tomorrow. You know what? And I might stay up tonight, depending on how I feel. It all depends. I'm not
It's
really.
almost 11 o'clock.
I'm not really on a time schedule per se. I've avoided using this tool as long as I could because it fell on the floor. But now it's time for some detailios. Did that freeze it? Yes. Okay. Had to freeze my reference.
Dan says, stay up or you'll never get it to me by Christmas.
Oh, Dan. These have more weight. to them on the outsides. Looking at, I wish these were a little bigger, but I don't want to pull them out anymore because they'll look a little weird if I do. I don't think you can afford to be timid in correcting your sculpture. That's why even at this late stage of the game, I was more than willing to stab Baby Yoda in the ass. This is the wet brush. It's a 1-inch chip brush that I cut down a little more than halfway, just so it's a stiffer brush. I have a decent amount of water on it, and I'm pushing with it while I brush. I'm shaping while I'm smoothing. I'm kind of pushing it back a little. Really want these big round eyes. That is what Baby Yoda is all about.
So that Helen Nurse says, that would be great. I'm in bed watching. I can't sleep until you are off. Virus Haunt, hello. Looks like a Rick Baker sculpt.
No, it doesn't. You shut your mouth. No, Rick Baker is the man, and I am nowhere near that. I am comfortable now saying that I'm a good sculptor. I'm not a great sculptor, and I don't pretend to be a great sculptor. It's not me being humble. I know about 40 sculptors who are better than me. You know, I don't think I suck, but Rick Baker, he's like the man.
Says, Dan says, you owe me for the time you made me with a softball. I cried blood. Baby Yoda is the perfect way to say I'm sorry.
Does that mean that if I actually give you a Baby Yoda at some point, you'll never bring that up again? Hit him in the junk with a softball one time.
Looks like Gollum with big ears. If you stop there, it would be perfect for old Yoda.
No, it wouldn't. Hate to keep telling you guys you're wrong, but I only do that because you're wrong. Here I am, widening the cheeks a little bit, as we discussed, would need to happen. Let's see how this is. Yeah, see, the back of the head is firm because I did it, over an hour ago. It's chilly in here. It's not a great temperature in here for this stuff to cure. And anytime you let it go colder, it's going to take a little longer. So I'm getting myself more working time just because it's cold out. And everything on Baby Yoda is subtle. Like none of the wrinkles are too deep. He's a baby. He's very fresh. And there was a point in time where everything I did looked too old because I was trying to add a bunch of wrinkles and stuff to it. And that, I just made it look old. It wasn't a wrinkly orc, it was an old orc. You got to find a way to balance that. Okay, here we go. I think we're getting better. We're dialing in. That divot is huge. That needs material. Anything too extreme has to be brought back down. It's got to be made unextreme. Baby Yoda is very soft, very curvy, very round in his features. Very cool that we had about 100 folks or so watching today. That was kind of neat.
Never know the holidays.
Yeah. That's smoothing out.
People just need a little break from it.
Uh-oh. Oh, the big heater cut off?
Yeah, just hope. Sure.
Just pops the breaker every now and then.
Dan says, I too have been described as soft, curvy, and round in my features.
How baby Yoda like you are, Dan. That is actually getting there. I wish the top of his head were lower, but that's the doll's head I'm running right up into.
Dan says, actually, I lost 70 pounds. Description still applies, though.
Well, that's how guys work.
Who's cuter, Gizmo or Baby Yoda?
I think Gizmo because he's furry.
I think the upper lip should curve down a little bit. That's just my opinion. That is alien fat ink.
The reference that I have up right now doesn't have too much of a curve on that lip. So right now, I'm more matching with that one.
First out and then you sodomize him. Good Lord.
He's been sodomized this whole time, okay? That's not new.
Dan says, I could have gone my whole life without seeing you impaled him on that.
Well, you didn't.
When you cut the eyes out, the
Was there much wailing and gnashing of
comments
teeth?
were spinning so fast I couldn't catch them all. You'll just have to read them later. Oh, goodness. Skullberg, point on the doll where Carl touched you.
That's right.
It's terrible. We are at 11 o'clock.
Okay. Your package is prepped?
Yep.
Okay. I'm actually really close on this. It needs a good brushing out. I'm going to grab a brush that has longer bristles. Softer.
Okay, a couple of questions back to back here. Could you cheat by adding material between the top of the head and the ears to flatten out the head? And also, Alan, you could cut the top of the doll's head off to get a lower.
You know what? Then I would have integrity problems. Not like personal integrity, but the integrity of the doll, I think. Because there's not enough material, the thickness isn't enough, where if you cut off a side of it, it would be more prone to collapsing. And then I'd have to thicken up I just think that would be bad. I get you, and I thought about that on the other ones I was making.
Dan Caro says, I do think the chin is a bit pointy and needs to recess back a little bit more. But I'm not actually going to say that because I'm sure when he goes in to refine it, he will do that. John Royski, could you use a heat gun to change the shape of the top of the baby head, or would that cause integrity issues too?
I probably could have done that at the beginning. And it would have smelled awesome. You know, all this is, just when he's got his collar and stuff on, from here down, it's really not even seen. Added a little bit to the profile of the cheeks there.
I think it looks good. I would like to see those other guys do better. It's the blue fairy. Dan Caro says, I'd like to see me do better too, but I can't. Lorcan says, baby head fumes, party.
Yeah, baby head fumes. That's what it would be. There would be a lot of baby head fumes.
I am nowhere near this type of work. My hat is off to you, Alan. Dan says, Alan Hobbs is one of the most talented people I have ever known. Fat Alien says, that's a nice cyclops back there. And Ad says, curious, what's the working time of the clay?
Probably about an hour and a half or so in this weather. The first layer I put on there is cured and hard right now. So that's the back. Back here is solid.
How are you going to change the hands to the 3 fingers?
You know what? Let me do a hand real quick for you, and then I'll wrap up here tonight, and I have a very fun little bit of refining. As you guys can tell right now, I'm pushing things around, I'm moving things around, and you guys can't see it because it's such small things, but it does add to the overall. So let me get enough to make a hand, and I've got to get enough to make 2 hands.
He says, can you tell us, Dan says, can you tell us about what you're sculpting with? I'm sure you mentioned it, but I signed on late.
This is Magic Sculpt, and it is 2 parts. You can buy it on Amazon. There's a resin bit and a hardener bit. It smells vaguely like tortilla chips.
Alan, give us a ho ho ho. You definitely have a Santa beard on the grow.
I do. And as soon as the show is over this next weekend, I'm going to trim it down quite a bit. But I use it to blend into both my werewolf mask and my Krampus mask now. So it's useful for me to keep a beard. All right, it's probably enough material. I need a little like.
Do you like this better than the epoxy sculpt?
Yes, epoxy sculpt is a little firmer, and I just like this better. It's very similar. It's very similar. Okay.
Okay, Bad Boy Billy really wants you to do a ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho! How's that? Be happy, Billy.
That will make Bad Boy Billy happy.
Dan, you got on late, so let me show you something. This is going in the Monster Museum. Hooray. And this Cyclops back here is going to go in the Monster Museum.
Dan says awesome. It looks like the monster from Monster Squad. Do you think the epoxy would be good for mask teeth?
And this guy, yeah, it'd be great for mask teeth. It's going to go in the Monster Museum. Ooh, spooky.
Dan says, oh crap. I need cred. Dan says, no, bring it back. He wants to see it again.
I got to mix this clay.
He wants to see it again. Get it. This is your Dan. You know how this works. Okay, and they also want to see the green Monster Squad again.
Y'all people.
I'm just reading.
Okay.
Dan screen capped it. You're so annoyed in this video I'm watching back now. Oh, that's funny.
I'm trying to mix this clay up so I can make hands for people.
Dan says those are awesome.
Well, there's a lot more coming. Just haven't had time to get them together.
You have these videos saved to your channel, Alan.
Yeah, they show up on my YouTube channel. Absolutely.
On camera, the temple area looks too defined. Needs to be more sloppy, in my opinion. This is from Virus Hawk.
Well, it probably has a pit in it that I have to smooth out. I just widened the eyes and put a new brow on, so I'll probably add a little bit of clay there and smooth that out and make it not be a crater. The Monster Museum is a passion of mine. It's rough because we charge $3 to get in, and we pay people to work it and stuff, so it kind of is a wash just about all the time. But it's nice to have a Monster Museum.
Cyclopses are super underrated.
They are, I agree.
I really love those monsters. Fantastic work.
I didn't sculpt all those. The Cyclops, I bought that from Ghost Ride, and then I did the paint and the hair and the horn and all that on it, and the eye and stuff. And then the fish monster, a artist who was at Monster Day in Greeley, Colorado, sold me a blank. So I did the painting and put the teeth in and put eyes in it and all that. I did that on a YouTube video too. Both of those. The hands are actually wicked easy. I kind of want you guys to see how easy this is. I also kind of want to be finished mixing this clay. I know what I'm going to do with his face too now. Being back here, I gotta get all this up. Just gonna ignore the baby face under there.
Who's here? Jonesy. Hi, buddy.
Hello, Jonesy.
Jonesy. Jones. Jonesy.
Jonesy the cat could not find us, so he came in here. He's complaining
Jones.
that we're not in the house.
Hi.
Neither of us are in the house.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Okay. I have enough clay here for 2 hands. That's important. I don't want to guess later how much material I need for the hands.
Here. What is it?
So I'm sculpting into a point that's about, I don't know, 4 inches or so. Rough point. I'm gonna cut.
Are you a fan of old Universal monsters?
You have no idea how much a fan I am of old Universal monsters.
You need to zoom out a bit, hon. It's showing. Or you're zooming in on the clay.
Yep.
Okay. Comes Jonesy. He wants to go to the second room.
What's up, bud? No, he'll get locked in.
Alan, have you seen Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation?
Yes, I have. After cutting it into 3 prongs, putting the little points on the fingers.
What is it? What? What is it, baby?
Gonna add a little bit of material in the meat of the hand here. Hand's almost done. All right, so now that I have that basicness done, I'm going to take this guy and roll it around the end of the finger, dip it in water, roll around the end of the finger to make the claw. Nice stubby little fingers.
Cool, baby.
And now that I have that much done,
Have you ever made a diving helmet? I did a Captain Cutler's Ghost from Scooby-Doo a while back. And I made it with EVA foam, but I'm looking for something more solid and long-lasting. Any thoughts?
I made mine out of EVA foam, and it lasts. You know, I still have it. It still works well. So you could always just. And I'm just pressing this in to get some just finger wrinkles. You know, is that Baby Yoda hand happening?
We have a request to see Jonesy, and someone's asking if the tree is still leaning. We'll show you. Oh, gosh, this is such good luck.
Give me that kitty.
We're struggling.
But they want to see him. They want to see him. He does want you. So this is Jones. And Jones is named after the cat from Aliens. Here. He wants Mama.
He wants me to bring him here.
But they have now seen him.
Oh, come here, big boy. Come here, big boy.
Close.
Hello, Jones. Ellen, would you like to see a Monster Squad remake?
Yes, I would.
Jones. Could you fiberglass over the EVA diver's helmet to make it more long-lasting?
Absolutely. You could fiberglass, you could epoxy over it. You have a lot of options for hard coating.
Who is your favorite character from Monster Squad?
Wolfman?
Did you ever make a Terror Dog from Ghostbusters?
No. I was never a Ghostbusters. I wasn't like a huge Ghostbusters fan. I liked it. It was kind of cool, but it was more sci-fi to me, and it was more ghost rather than monsters. I like monsters.
Alan, are you a god?
Yes.
Dan says, make a Terror Dog. Ghostbusters is awesome, says Dan.
Yes. Dan has like a full Ghostbusters outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's hardcore Ghostbusters. You are not. It's not liking Ghostbusters is your worst quality.
Not that I don't like it, I just don't like it a lot. I enjoy Ghostbusters, but it's a comedy. And when it came out, I really wanted people to take monsters seriously. And I thought that Ghostbusters was a comedy, so it was kind of making fun. Even though, like some of my favorite horror movies are Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's kind of Ghostbusters-like. So in retrospect, I was foolish for not liking Ghostbusters. And yet...
Says Zool was creepy.
Yeah, sure. There's creepy stuff for sure.
What do you think of the new one that is coming out? Do you think it is going to go more monster-like?
No. I think it's all going to be ghosts. I think it'll be like Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters. It seems like it has a lot of at least some of the Stranger Things cast in it. And it's got that whole kids coming of age type thing going on. But I think it looks fun.
Dan says, he admits it. We made a lot of progress with him just now.
I do not and did not enjoy the all-female Ghostbusters. It's the weirdest thing because in the very beginning of the movie, they say 20 years ago, Ghostbusters, these guys were Ghostbusters. And then they just ignore that like it never happened for the rest of the film. Very odd. And I get playing someone who's stupid. I understand playing a stupid character. I've played stupid characters. But the amount of stupid that they made what's his name be, I don't think it was quite proportionate to. It was almost like a female revenge film a little bit. It's like, girls have had to play stupid characters, so we're going to make this guy the stupidest character in existence. But then, to me, that made the one woman look stupid because she was attracted to him, and I can't imagine being attracted to somebody that stupid.
Something you don't hear from him. Baby Yoda looks like he's having an intense time.
He is. He's staring up and thinking about what he's done. And he's going, oh God, my eyes. And babies have these like chubby wrinkles around their wrists. Just want to put those in. It's very simple, you know. If I nail the anatomy in one area, I kind of have to nail the anatomy in every area. But if I have it all the same level of doneness, then it's in good shape. Okay, so now I have a grabby hand and I have a force hand. All right, so my hand's over there curing. And I think I'm going to call this. And I have, most of a Baby Yoda done. I've got his hands done. I'll cut these hands off here shortly and glue those on. But I do that after I put the robe on it. But,
how are you going to attach the hands?
I'm going to do hot glue, and then I'll wrap a bit of the robe material around it on both sides so that it's glued on this way and it's glued on this way.
Dan says, I like how Alan is talking about baby hands like he's actually seen a baby close up.
I've seen pictures on the internet, Dan. I am allergic to babies. Okay, I want to make sure that I do use up all the clay that I have before I leave. And I have some little holes here in the face that need to be filled.
Baby Yoda says, much pain I feel.
Who said that?
That was bad boy Billy. Newman Brown says, my wife said to tell you she wants to buy him when he is done, LOL.
It's illegal for me to sell it.
Are you going to chop off the baby hands?
Yep, absolutely. One of my favorite parts of the whole build, chopping off me some baby hands.
Says, you did good tonight, Alan, except what you did bad, like stabbing his eye thing. That's damn.
Well,
You're not going to sell it. You could trade it for a tip.
that's no.
Blue Fairy, I can't wait to see him get done. Are you going to stream tomorrow?
Yeah, and it's possible I might stream later tonight because I do want him done.
Are you going to stay up?
Might stay up a little. Yeah, and smashing that up was good. Okay. Got a little more work to do on him, but he's coming along. So you guys are awesome. I have to go sneakily drop Christmas presents in my neighbor's mailboxes for my wife. But I may even just go live again when I get back. So if y'all are awake, I'll be awake. You guys are awesome for hanging out with me. I appreciate you watching the work. And I'll make sure that you guys see this finished. And those who don't want to stay up late and watch, then you can certainly watch it tomorrow because I'll make sure that they go on the channel. As I always end my videos, go make stuff.